The elites behind the curtains are genuinely scared of the power of vitamin D, and by the end of this video you will know exactly why. Currently, around 60% of the worldwide population isn't getting enough vitamin D, while around 1 billion people worldwide are categorized as deficient, and the result of this presents pretty detrimental consequences. For example, anecdotal reports of people who have suffered from severe vitamin D deficiency report feeling intense pains in their bones and muscles, as well as increased susceptibility to illnesses. Depression and anxiety were also common among these individuals, as well as constant fatigue, brain fog, poor skin and hair health, weight gain, and many individuals even reporting cancer-like symptoms. So vitamin D is no joke and plays a critical role in the functioning of the body, and a lack of it is definitely detrimental to our health and longevity. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning it is stored in the body's fat and can be produced endogenously through sunlight exposure, or it can be found in animal-based foods, which we will cover later in the video. Vitamin D is produced when sunlight UVB radiation penetrates our skin and interacts with 7-dehydrocholesterol, a precursor molecule found in the skin, causing it to convert to pre-vitamin D3 known as cholecalciferol. Vitamin D3 is then released from the skin into the bloodstream and carried to the liver, where it is converted to 25-hydroxyvitamin D, or calcidiol. This is then transported to the kidneys, where it is converted to the biologically active form known as calcitriol, where it is able to be used by the body. Vitamin D has been shown to enter the nucleus of cells and turn on and off certain genes. Vitamin D regulates over 5% of our DNA, which is insane. So vitamin D essentially acts as a hormone and regulates a lot of functions in the body. A 20-year-old study found that those with a deficiency in vitamin D had up to twice the risk of death from any cause, including cardiovascular disease, cancer, infections, and neurodegeneration. Another study done in Indonesia a few years back measured the vitamin D in COVID-19 patients who died and found that over 98% of the patients who had died has insufficient vitamin D levels. Another study done on mice also showed that low vitamin D levels significantly accelerated the aging process in the mice, which affected all their organs and tissues across the body. Vitamin D is also a potent ingredient for testosterone production in males, with men that had sufficient vitamin D3 levels possessing higher free and total testosterone. One trial showed a 25% increase in testosterone when men supplemented 3,300 IUs daily for a year. This is exactly why deficiency tanks libido and drive. Men with low vitamin D levels will struggle to maintain and build muscle mass and will struggle to burn fat as well. Obese people have been represented to be more deficient in vitamin D, as D3 is fat soluble, and the more body fat means there will be less vitamin D available in the bloodstream. Vitamin D helps regulate leptin, which is a hormone that is involved in energy balance and fat storage. Proper leptin function can aid in fat loss and help distribute fat efficiently around the body. Another benefit of sunlight not directly linked to vitamin D though is getting direct sunlight in the morning or evening hours, which helps synchronize your circadian rhythm and regulate melatonin, which improves sleep quality and will further increase testosterone, because the quality and duration of sleep is directly correlated with your testosterone levels. So improving the quality of your sleep will significantly improve so many aspects of your life, and sunlight and vitamin D is a big contributing factor to your sleep quality. Athletes who supplemented with vitamin D3 also had improved muscle recovery, higher VO2 max, and better explosive power. Low levels were linked with slower sprint times and reduced muscle force. This is due to vitamin D's involvement in neurosignaling and nerve control. This is why elderly people with vitamin D deficiency are more likely to experience muscle weakness and have higher risk of falls. Moving on, another critical role vitamin D plays is its effect on calcium absorption. Sufficient vitamin D increases calcium absorption by up to 65%, meaning if you are vitamin D deficient, the majority of the calcium you're consuming is wasted. Calcium is important for bone health and the growth and strength of the bones, and lack of it can lead to osteoporosis, fractures, and weak teeth. So you need sufficient vitamin D3 to absorb calcium in the body. Vitamin D is also crucial to boosting the immune system in defense against invading pathogens. This is because vitamin D increases T regulatory cells, which are essentially white blood cells that reduce autoimmunity while enhancing the defense against foreign antigens. It also activates macrophages, NK cells, and cathelicidin, an antimicrobial peptide. So low levels of vitamin D means you are more likely at risk of infections, autoimmune disease, allergies, and chronic inflammation. An interesting study done in the Philippines looked at the relationship between serum vitamin D levels and COVID-19. They measured the patients and found that for every standard deviation in vitamin D, the patients were 8 times less likely to have a severe form of COVID-19 and 20 times less likely to have a critical form of COVID-19. So the strength of your immune system is definitely dependent on vitamin D and may even be more important than vitamin C. Another important role vitamin D plays is its ability to protect your brain and memory. In animal studies, vitamin D restored hippocampal neurons, reduced neuroinflammation, and boosted brain growth factor, which are all essential for learning and memory. It even showed to reverse memory deficits as well. Sunlight has also been shown to increase serotonin, which is a chemical in the brain which controls your mood and energy levels. This is generally the reason why you feel better in the summer months and when your energy levels are usually at the highest. Those with vitamin D deficiency are at much higher risk of depression, anxiety, Alzheimer's disease, schizophrenia, and brain fog. So how do we go about increasing our vitamin D? Well, the best way is from direct sunlight. Skin synthesis creates the active form calcitriol along with other chemicals such as nitric oxide, serotonin, and beta endorphins. Depending on your situation, there are a few factors that limit your ability to synthesize vitamin D from the sun, and therefore you may need to rely on supplements. Depending on where you are in the world will drastically influence the amount and concentration of vitamin D your skin can absorb. The closer you are to the equator, the higher the UV generally is, meaning you can absorb a lot more vitamin D in a shorter amount of time compared to living further away from the equator. The further away from the equator you live, the harder it is to absorb vitamin D and the more likely you are to be deficient. This also explains why ethnicities that evolved closer to the equator, such as Africans, have darker skin because their dark pigment actually protects their skin from the harmful UV. At the same time, Scandinavian countries and Europeans generally have a lighter pigment to allow them to absorb vitamin D easier. The problem with this, however, is when individuals with a darker pigment move to a region where there isn't much sun, such as Scandinavia, they will struggle to absorb vitamin D, and if you reverse it, the whiter skin will burn with the harsher sun. A study found that African Americans in the US are 28 times more efficient in vitamin D than Caucasians. So these groups will likely need to supplement vitamin D with their diet. Another thing is sunscreen. Sunscreen blocks the UVB rays from your skin, so you can essentially not absorb any vitamin D while wearing sunscreen. I'm not telling you not to wear sunscreen as skin cancer is real, but if you have very fair skin and you get burnt quite easily, then I recommend getting sun earlier or later in the day as the UV is weak at these times. Or you can supplement instead, but just make sure you check your region's UV index. Apart from the sun, vitamin D can be found in foods such as fatty fish like salmon or sardines. Another food high in vitamin D is eggs. Many foods in the West are now fortified with vitamin D such as milk, cheese or yogurt, but you are not likely to consume enough vitamin D from any food unless you are eating unhealthy amounts. So I recommend aiming to get around 4,000 to 5,000 international units of vitamin D per day. This has shown to be the upper range of the healthy limit that allows you to get the maximum benefits. To calculate the amount of vitamin D you can absorb from the sun, you will need to look up the UV index in your region and the time you are under the sun. The index on the screen roughly estimates the amount of vitamin D you can absorb from 15 to 30 minutes in the sun in a t-shirt and shorts, but this varies depending on the individual and their skin tone. I also want to mention the importance of magnesium and vitamin K in combination with D3, as magnesium will help convert D3 into its active form, and K2 helps with calcium misplacement. You can buy supplement forms that combine all these three compounds, or you can take them separately, but they are all essential if you want to maximize the benefits of vitamin D. So there you have it, guys. Vitamin D is very important for you. I think I have covered everything I wanted in this video, so that wraps it up. Thanks for watching, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.